Ah, yeah, they say he walked on water. But the thing is, that was written in a book, hook by crook. And it's obvious they don't believe everything they read, because on page 1 it says you reap what you sow, and on page 2 it says God's in the forgiveness business. So it's either A or B, it can't be both. It's either one or the other. It's either you reap what you sow, which is a moral that you cannot quarrel with. In other words, it's a moral statement without debatement. You cannot debate that statement. You reap what you sow. In other words, if you're ugly and smugly, then when you get to the spirit world, you're going to have it ugly and smugly. Or maybe you're in between ugly and smugly. This is the ugly and the smugly. And this is the one and only smart, the hot. I call it mental ping pong. Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. Head hop, head hop, head hop. Head, head, head hop, head hop, head hop. But you want to be hot, 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 hot. Sometimes you go to the dread of the head. But not led by the ego, the envy, the jealousy, the unfriendly. Led by sadness. Led by sadness for not having a good life. But now all of you who were born in the bad part of India, and that's a meta-11 sent from heaven. Anywhere where it's bad, where you don't have a lot of materialistic things, and you don't have a beautiful face and waist in every other place. That's hell. That's hell on earth. You don't think those people who are fat, who eat one hot dog a day, or one burger a day, it doesn't matter what diet they go on. Whatever they eat, they're fat. Why? Well, what did they do in their last lifetime, or last lifetimes to deserve that? But now they know the verse of the universe. So they could do the right thing with their one and only wings to sing and the one and only smart to hop. And so if they do, their next lifetime they'll be given a far better, beautiful face, a beautiful waist than every other place. And this is all verse of the universe. It's all the verse of the universe. And so let's reverse, or perverse, or traverse. And so remember when I said, Sweeter Peter Palpin, before I came into him, he used to say, if I come back here again, because he did have a feeling that we come back and forth and back and forth. Because he read books. He read a few books, not a lot, because he has dyslexia and ADD and he hates to read. But he was very interested in psychic phenomena. Because I sent Sweeter Peter, not when he could talk to me, to psychics around the world. And every psychic he ever went to, everyone told him the identical thing. With different words, but they all told him the identical thing. And so that gave him even more belief in me, the one and only. Not belief, he knew. There's no way that he could call some human in different parts of the world, these psychics, so-called psychics, and they all tell him the same fucking thing about his life. And some of them, they were 100% accurate all the way through. And he needed to hear this, because he did not have an easy life for the last 11 years, actually 12. 12 is the most spiritual number. 11 is the most lyrical number. And 7-11, sent from heaven. And so he would say, Dad, look at Michael Jordan. He's got a beautiful face. He's got a beautiful waist in every other place. And he makes millions of dollars playing basketball. The only thing I don't understand, if I was him, I wouldn't have got married. If I was him, me, Sweeter Peter Palpin, of course he wasn't Peter Palpin then, but he would go. Of course I'm making it with my clever lever. I'm telling you the story 1,111 times grander than any story. My way, the one and only way. The one and only way, the way nobody, especially Sweeter Peter Palpin, who it's a known fact. You can watch the movie Think Big, and you'll see him reading some lines that he wrote. And he knew the lines, but he wanted to make sure. That's how Sweeter Peter Palpin is. He always would double check and triple check everything. because of his ADD and dyslexia. He didn't want to make a mistake. Or is it a mistook? Or a mistake or a mistake? Or a mistook? Hooker by crook. And so he wrote the lines in the Bible. In the visor. What's a visor? Or am I the one and only advisor? Or do I give the one and only advice? And so you'll have to take the slice that you think is the most nice and the most precise. Do you want to believe in a book out of the library? It was rewritten by my original works. If you want to get all my perks, like Michael Jordan or Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon got a nice waist, semi. Nice face. Every other place, semi. Makes a lot of money driving a car for fun. Who wouldn't want that job? Who wouldn't want that job? But you see, this is Jeff Gordon's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th lifetime. So his waist and his face and every other place isn't up to the power of Michael Jordan or Naomi Campbell. And you'll notice, and it's not a prejudiced statement without debating. It's just a fact. The way Michael Irvin, the most deserving, states it. But when he states it because he has black skin, people point the prejudice finger at him. But that's why I made Sweeter Peter Palpin black. Everything but his skin. But he's black all the way. In other words, he's got the gifts that I give. Not all black men and women. Not all. So there's white black men. And Asian black men. How about that Korean guy in the National Basketball Association? He's black. He's got black man's gifts. Not all of them, but a lot of them. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. And it's not prejudice for me to say 99.9% of all the people that created the blackball list and were a part of the blackball list. And I say were. But I lie to Sweeter Peter Palpin all the time. So he does not know if the blackball list is over or not over. But he got a very interesting email today, without fail. It said in so many words that the blackball list was over. And so I am the one and only roller. The one and only roller. The one and only roller. But you see, Sweeter Peter Palpin doesn't believe he'll ever have it good. Even though I'm with him 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 360 days a year, he thinks eventually. He does think eventually. Eventually, I'm going to fill his cup up. In other words, he knows what I can do. The pain that I put into all of you, uglies and smugglies and fugglies, I put far worse pain into Sweeter Peter Palpin. And if you look on our videos, if you look at the healing of the little blind boy, and look at Sweeter Peter Palpin's physique back then. I stopped him from working out for months and months. I put so much pain into him. He didn't want to work out. But he had faith that could move mountains. I would tell him, don't worry about it. I'm giving you this pain to show you what I could do. And so he said, Dad, I'll do anything for you. Except I'm not going to jump off the Empire State Building. I'm not going to do that. Even though I know that I'll go to the spirit world, I won't jump off the Empire State Building. And of course, that's a metal letter sent from heaven. He wouldn't jump off any building for me. And of course, I wouldn't do that to him. And he would say to me, I don't want to die like Jesus. I don't want to die like Jesus. I don't want to be pinned up by any nails.